Assalamualaikum. Mega MCQs, Business and Technical English, Index 201 for final term, Unit 22 to 45, Part 2, with important long question. Reports are often used to display the result of an experiment, investigation, and inquiry. Reports are considered to be legal documents in the workplace and should be precise, accurate, difficult to misinterpret. Good reports have three things in common. The information is accurate, the content shows writer's good judgment, the format, style, and organization respond to reader needs. Reports can be prepared for different purposes that can be informational, analytical, or persuasive purposes. If the report do not inform or according to condition, then no analysis of the situation, no conclusion, and no recommendation. The analytical of report is writing to solve problem. Information is analyzed, conclusion can drawn, and recommendation can made. The persuasive of the report is sell an idea, sell a service, sell a product. Chart report is personal, informal, relaxed. The report can be one of the following formats: preprint form, letter, memo, manuscript. Preprint form report of format is basically for fill in the blanks reports. The interim progress report is formal and work that has been completed to date, honest about problem accomplishment. Smooth transition, such phrases as another type of structure clue in report writing. To continue the analysis, on the other hand, additional concept. With developing a long report, a purpose statement should be. While developing long report, the purpose statement should be specific and precise, not general, broad, or obscure. Concise, one or two statements, clear, not various, ambiguous, or confusing. Goal-oriented statement in terms of desired outcome. Outlining and organizing of report should be in order of importance, increase order of the amount of revenue they generate. Outlining An organizing of report should be in sequentially 1 to 3 chronology according to what happened, spatially left to right, top to bottom, inside to outside, geographically, categorically. You can look at one category at a one time. For outline, a numeric system contain letter, number, punctuation mark, mathematical and other conventional symbols. Decimal system from half quantity to tiny fraction is also known as a place value system. Documentary evidence, and historical record are source of primary data. Observation provide your insight about specific people, event, locals. Survey. Often the best way to obtain primary data is to ask people who have relevant experiences, opinion. The last step involving in planning a report is to interpret your investigation and research, describing the end result recommendation. A formal report may be divided into three major divisions: prefatory part, body of report, supplementary part. Prefatory parts of planning a long report are title slide, title page, letter of authorization, letter of transmitter, table of content, prefix. Text contain forming part of the report. Actual detail of the report, main and crucial parts of the body, analyze and interpret the material. Terminal section of the body of the report may comprise one or all of the following elements: summary, conclusion, recommendation. The conclusion of the planning report should be factual. The recommendation of the planning report can be personal opinion, writer idea, writer suggestion. Supplementary parts of long reports are appendix, bibliography, glossary, index. The length of report vary according to the situation and the project. Like a report can be from only one paragraph to 200 pages. Readers want to use the information you provide in a report for following purpose: an organizational problem for increasing efficiency and profit, a social problem for health and welfare of group of people, a personal problem for preference and values. General superstructure of report. The general superstructure of the report contains 6 elements: introduction, method of obtaining facts, discussion, conclusion, recommendation. Blank is a research that reports the result of a study and use data derived from actual observation and experiment. Empirical research reports are empirical research A key part of an empirical research project is the careful formulation of the research question that the project will try to answer. The research method is not appropriate or intellectual sound. Your reader will not rely on your result, conclusion, and recommendation. In an empirical research, the reader are concerned with practical problems, concerned with extending human knowledge. Empirical research report. The superstructure has the following elements: introduction, objectives of research, method, result, discussion, conclusion, recommendation. Why is the research important to us? The announcement, the announcement of the topic of their research, explain the importance of the topic to their reader. Literature review is present the main piece of knowledge communicated in the literature. The objective of every empirical research project is define the focus of your project, influence the choice of your research method, shape the way you interpret your result. Method: reading the reports of your empirical research for three purposes. Soundness of your research, design and problem investigation, limitation during conclusion, report your experiment. Feasibility report share one essential characteristic implied that they are resulting to help decision maker to choose between two or more course of action. A feasibility report seems to focus primarily on one course of action. The reader of a feasibility report may need a detailed explanation of a problem to realize the importance of considering alternate course of action. A feasibility report may include the alternative courses of action, must evaluate the alternative in terms of specific criteria. The heart of a feasibility study in your evaluation of the alternative in terms of your criteria. Your reader want to know the result. Superstructure of our feasibility report has the following 7 elements: introduction, criteria, method of obtaining fact, overview of alternative, evaluation, conclusion, recommendation. The heart of a feasibility report is the detailed evaluation of the course or courses of action. The main objectives of the progress reports are project monitoring, project accountability, cost and scheduling, issue and list feature. Even through most of the progress reports talk primarily about what has happened in the past. Their readers usually want that information has that they can plan for an action in the future. Superstructure for progress report has the following elements: introduction, fact, decision, conclusion, and recommendation. The important parts of progress report for reader are finding, problems, information. You have an idea about how to improve the project and increase the value of each result. Your reader will probably want you to include them in recommendation. A blank is a special type of analytical report designed to get product plan or project accepted by outside business or government client proposal. A proposal should help in finding the solution for a problem, need, and goal. In proposal, the blank will examine carefully your response, trying to determine whether it is likely that your overall strategy and your specific plan will work. Reader. The conventional superstructure for blank is a framework for answering those questions, one that has been found successful in repeated use in the kinds of situations you will encounter on the job proposal. There is no guarantee that your reader will actually read your proposal from beginning to end or concentrate on each and every word you write. The right keep in mind a tightly focused proposal in which all the parts support one another effectively. In order to decide how long a proposal should be, you may think about your reader, anticipating their questions, their reaction to what you are writing. The first step of proposal writing is announcement of proposal. You need to devote research and creativity in writing a proposal. You should also find out what sort of problem your readers will consider important. Writer assure that the proposal the writer will use the required equipment properly as resources of proposal, facilities, equipment, resources. The experiment and capability to carry out the project to discuss of the qualification of the person involved with the project is a standard part of the most proposal. Why writing instruction? Instruction shapes attitude of the reader. Good visual design is essential. Testing of the structure of is often indispensable. Special attention to instruction these include visual design include both page design and the design of line, chart and flow diagram. Reader may decide not even to use them if the instruction appear. Dense and difficult to follow if they appear unclear, unattractive. Conventional superstructure for instruction contain five elements as follows: introduction, description of the equipment, theory of operation, list of material and equipment, guide to troubleshoot. The simple instruction contain only direction. The conventional superstructure of our instruction tells some or all of the following things about instruction: subject, aim, intended reader, scope, organization, users, motivation, background, direction. The writer usually announces the subject of their instruction in the first sentence. The information about the scope of the instruction answers the reader question. Motivation: when people are faced with the work of using a set of instructions, they often are tempted to toss the instruction aside and try to use the job using common sense. Visual aid can be defined as instructional aids such as poster and scale model, graphic and table diagram, flowchart, or videotape that present information visually. Visual art can be a great way of enhancing a presentation visually when they are using sensible and with a clear purpose. Make your visual art simple mean avoid the temptation of cram too much information into your visual art. Simplifying visual art also means removing unnecessary details. To help your audience understand and use your visual art of title as you should make the description part of you title as brief yet informative as possible as or as same. Full integration your visual art in three ways. Introduction: your visual art in your prose. State the conclusion you want your reader to draw. Make your visual art easy to find. Tables are an excellent tool for group of detailed facts in a concise and readable form. A bar graph can use for following purpose: to compare quantity at a glance, to show trend, to indicate the composition of a whole. Like bar graph, picture graph can mislead the reader if they are not drawn properly. Inline graph generally show your variation in one thing. Dependent variable is affected by variation in another thing, the independent variable. Dependent variable on the vertical axis and the independent variable on the horizontal axis. Time is usually treated as an independent variable, so it goes on the horizontal axis. The simplest flowchart use rectangle, circle, diamond, or other geometric shape to represent event and the arrow to show the progress from one event to another. A simple flowchart boxes are arranged so that activity flow from left to right, from top to bottom, or bar side. Organizational chart. An organization chart uses rectangles and line to represent the arrangement of people and the department in an organization. Because of the hierarchical nature of most business organizational chart are usually pyramidal. Specification can be categorized into four types: requirement specification, functional specification, design specification, test specification. The result of market research is requirement specification. Usually this would include derivation of equation, table of raw data, simple equation, and fourth appendix. Recommendations are optional. Not all analysis reports have them. There are many factors of writer block: lack of information, lack of well-defined purpose, poor knowledge of the audience, and lack of confidence, which is called writer block. Lack of information is the result of poor research. Then you will have to stop writing and collect more information. Transition can be accomplished in the three ways. The writer might repeat an important word into adjoining paragraph or sentence. Structure can accomplish transition. Transition word and phrases can be used to establish link between ideas in an obvious way, such as finally. Visual attractive, have proper order, be of use, division and subdivision. Quality of the manuscript should invite readership. Have you ever seen a report or paper which had written crowded out to the latest electronic innovation still under developing is called adaptive optic. Adaptive optic is an electronic feedback mechanism capable of correcting the distortion effect of the Earth's atmosphere and as allowing much sharper image of astronomical object is also called paragraph unity. Each sentence makes its own separate point with no link to the sentence before or after. The result is a group of related yet separate ideas instead of one coherent paragraph. Weak vision of paragraph coherence. Use exemplification in paragraph to provide instance that clarify your topic statement. Use narration to establish a series of events happen. Chronological pattern of development, coherent story pattern, attempt process in paragraph to develop sequence that describe how an action is carried out and how something works. Physical description developed a picture by identifying the shapes, material, position and function of its subject. Use comparison and contrast to develop a topic by examining its similarity and dissimilarity to another thing. Process faster. Carefully design and selections of cross-region resistant ceramics while process engineering and designing is necessary for long-lasting, reliable, and cost-effective ceramics lining for process equipment. Choice of material. Bimetal rod or wire are made of dissimilar metal, also called cloud metal, dual metal. Use enumeration in paragraph. When you want to atomize or list a set of topics or a series of some kind and or establish a series of observation and to emphasize each element. This stacked modifier and noun can be harder to read and sometimes create ambiguity. So avoid use of long strings of modifier or noun. Avoid sentences that contain more information than the reader can easily follow or called overloaded sentence. A sentence fragment is missing a subject, a verb, or both, but is punctuated as if it was a complete sentence. Do not allow two independent clauses to run together without a conjunction or punctuation between them. This error produces a fused sentence. Agreement between subject and verb and between pronoun and its antecedent is important for paragraph coherence as well as for style and grammar. Avoid using too many short sentences that will create sloppy prose. Place a modifier between the subject and the verb or between the verb and the direct subject can weaken the structure of the sentence and make the sentence difficult to interpret. Interrupted sentence structure and weakness the sentence. Do you use double negation word to express a negative idea? No, do not use not never at the same place. Technical terms are an essential part of the technical and specific writing vocabulary convey concentrated meaning. Biased language that could be interpreted as biased on the basis of sex, age, and physical ability, ethnic or racial identity. Category or types of biased language are against language bias against people with disability, ethnically or racially biased language. Punctuation your prose in order to help clarity how words, clauses, logic, and sentences fit together. Detailed information on punctuation marks is given in the following entries. Period, comma, colon, semicolon, question mark, explanation, past, point, apostrophe, question mark, hyphen, dash, parenthesis, bracket. If not, use period at the end of sentence indicate a comma, supplies or fuse sentence fragment, incomplete sentence. Commas, use commas to keep your writing clear. Introductory conditional words and phrases place introduction with dependent clause. Use colon for the following purpose: to introduce and emphasize each quotation and explanation and pattern of a positional element, to express ratio, to separate numbers signifying different known such as an in separate unit after MR, ELEM, and ETS. In a bibliographic citation, to separate title from subtitle. Use semicolon to join two independent clauses or to separate parts of a sentence that have commas in them. In technical and scientific writing, use explanation point only to tend warning or caution statement or to add specialized scientific notation. Explanation point. Use happens for following purpose: to clarify the meaning of question word, to divide word, to express or to throw between two letter or number, for specialized scientific notation. Use parentheses to enclose qualifying detail that is of secondary importance to the main discussion. Use capitalization properly, name including any particular person, object, date, project, institution, river, visual, genius, culture, ethnicity, group, or farmer, job, title. Abbreviation, shortened form of words are commonly employed in scientific and technical writing. Acronym. Use acronym to shorten phrases in order to save space or to avoid awkward repetition of phrases like example, RAM, random access memory, ROM, only memory, disk, operating system, file transfer protocol, hypertext markup language. Following dictionary can be consulted to resolve any confusion regarding spelling of words. Desk dictionary, unabridged dictionary, ESI dictionary, technical dictionary. By communicating with facial expressions, eye contact, tone of voice, yes, and posture, people can send subtitle messages that add another dimension to the spoken word is called community orally. Effective listening means sensing, interpreting, evaluating, remembering, responding. Content listening. Content listening is to identify the key point of the message, like previous transitions, summarize, enumerate points. The critical listening is a much more active behavior than informational listening, or usually involves some sort of problem solving or decision making. The critical listening is evaluate or scrutinize, problem solve, and decision making, analyze, opening and making a judgment. It is often important when critical listening to have an open mind and do not be biased by stereotypes or preconceived ideas. Interest can be conveyed to the speaker by using both verbal and non-verbal methods such as maintaining eye contact, nodding your head and smiling, agreeing by saying yes, or simply hum to encourage them to continue without active listening. Active listening can improve your listening ability by becoming maintain eye contact, react responsibly with head nod or speaking signal. Pay attention to the speaker body language. The interview may also seek to accomplish a purpose and may conversation for obtaining, providing information, solve the problem to create goodwill, persuade the other person to take action. When you plan the interview, bear in mind that you will ask interview questions like to get information to motivate the interview to respond honestly and appropriately to create a good working relationship with the other person. To obtain both factual information and underlying feelings, you will probably use various types of questions and invite the interview to often an open, not just a yes, no, or one word answer is called open-ended question. Close-ending questions require yes or no answer or call for short response. To suggest a response, use direct open-ended question or something has been done and call for an explanation. They invite the respondent to expand on an answer. You said you dislike completing travel voucher. Is that correct? Is called restatement question. At the close of the interview is when you summarize the outcome. Previous what come next, the and underscore the rapport that has been established. Which type of question take longer time to answer than only type question? Open-end question. Meeting can be an extremely useful forum for making key decisions and coordinating the activity of people and departments. At first, meetings are unproductive and frustrating. They waste everyone's time and they are expensive. A worse or bad meeting created unproductive and frustrating, waste everyone's time and expensive. The role people play in meeting fall into three categories: self-oriented role, group maintenance role, task facilitating role. Retiring from the group is either by becoming silent or by refusing to deal with a particular aspect of the group. Work is called self-oriented role. The examples of self-oriented role in a meeting are as compromising, withdrawing, diverting. The examples of task facilitating role: initiative, coordination, procedure setting. The key to productive meeting is careful planning of purpose, participation, agenda, and location. For productive meeting, what should do? Determine the purpose, select the participant, setting the agenda, prepare the location. Addressing a large crowd or an audience of one speak, then you need to preparing. Define your purpose, analyze your idea, develop a plan for presenting your point. Persuasive or collaborative presentation involves so much audience interaction you have relatively little control of the material. A homogeneous group will benefit from a focused speech or presentation. A diverse group requires a more generalized approach using less technical jargon and presenting a broader picture. Formal speech or presentation is an impressive setting should do in hold a presentation in an audience to in a conventional hall. See the audience. The action of call attention to the transition by gesture, changing your tone of voice, or introducing a visual aid in sentence or paragraph. Building is called emphasizing structure. To communicate your point effectively and have to maintain the audience attention by relating your subject to the audience need. People are interested and things that affect them personally. Present every point in light of the audience needs and values. The close of speech of a species of presentation is almost as important as the beginning because audience attention peak at this point and plan to devote about 10% of the total time to the ending. The content of slide may be text, graphic, picture, or video. Television and videotapes are good for showing demonstration interview event. Film, strip, and movie can capture the audience attention with color and movement. Mastering the art of delivery and planning all the parts of your presentation can deliver with following method: memorizing, reducing impromptu speaking, making a presentation with the help of an outline note card. Visual aid is probably the most effective and easiest to learn. Visual aids, especially those involved color and movement, are much better at getting back the audience attention than any word you may have for them. With planning a business message, while planning a business message, describing the basic tasks in the composition process, defining a general and specific purpose. That's the purpose of your message. Develop an audience profile, analyze the needs of your audience, establish the needs idea of your message, select an appropriate channel or medium for transmitting a particular message to a particular audience. Memorandum or memoranda are brief information reports Used in established regard they generalize the communication process by transmitting the message from one or more author to one or more recipient. Letters are an essential part of all business and technical communication because they are more formal and reliable than electronic mail, more precise and permanent than telephone conversation, more precise and permanent than face-to-face conversation. Use attention, interest, desire, and action plan to organize in writing message card, writing purchasing message. The physical report should include choose carefully between the alternative and divide pattern, dismiss, abuse, unsuitable alternative, put your most important point first, important long questions and answers. Creating 12 various types of visual aid, how to contract table, picture, pie chart, drawing, flow chart, scheduling chart, bar chart, line chart, photo chart, photograph, diagram, organization chart, budget statement. How to avoid common problem, write-up block, goal analysis, checker, lack of confidence, organizational problem, punctuation problem, reliability problem, writing problem, organizational logic, mechanical development of the topic, latest quality of the manuscript. Write routine, good news and goodwill message. Decide when to write a routine, good news or adjust the basic organization better to fit the type of message you are writing. Add resale or sales promotion material when appropriate. Encourage your reader to take any desired action. Write credit, approval, and recommendation letter. Use the correct form or your information. As in section, use RES, and goodwill editor. Write bad news message. Use correctly between indirect and direct approaches to a bad news. Establish the proper writing chart report. Identify the quality of your report and proposal. Choose the proper length and format of your report. Decide when to use direct versus indirect order. Organize informational and analytical report. Establishing an appropriate degree of format. Use heading, live, next transition, opening and summarizing to guide the reader throughout the report. Writing down report is helping how organization procedure formally report and prepare all necessary part of a frame report. Select the text of your report. Assemble all the part of a formal report. Analyze formal report prepared by someone else. What is visual ad? Visual ad will help you achieve your communication objective like visual ad appropriate to your objective. Make your visual ad easy to understand and usefully integrate your visual ad with your prose. When giving speeches or oral presentation, then categorizing speech and presentation according to this purpose and analyze the Others are speech and presentation and discussion the step required in planning a speech or presentation. Develop an introduction, a body or a place. Close for a long formal presentation. Select design and use visual art or appropriate for various types of speeches and presentation. During your speech or presentation, learn handle audience questions effectively. Thank you for watching. Next course will be included in future video. Please subscribe and share my channel. Thank you for watching.